for a role like Percy Weasley, what was the audition process like? How many people were auditioning for this role, and what did it really entail?
But that is a really good question, which I wish I had a lot more of an answer to. Uh, I don't know how many other people auditioned for Percy Weasley. I never saw another ginger person uh, at all, ever, until we started filming. Rumor has it that originally they were considering Sean Biggerstaff for Percy, who ended up playing Oliver Wood, Quidditch captain, who is a not doesn't have an English accent. He's very Scottish, and B isn't ginger. So I don't know. I think originally they'd kind of thought about seeing him for that, and then decided he'd have been better Oliver Wood. I haven't
Right.
quite got my hands on the entire story behind that. But my audition process was alarmingly simple. Like, as I said, I wrote this letter off, and that was in April 2000, and they rang my home phone because this was before anybody had cell phones. In like it was mid late August that year, so I'd completely forgotten about it. I'd written the letter, I'd done my end of school, my GCSEs, which are the when you leave high school in the
Right.
UK, they're your
Right.
kind of leaving certificate exams. Um, and then, yeah, just after the blue, this phone call came in from somebody at David Heyman's office saying, "We would like to see you tomorrow in London to audition for Harry Potter. We're faxing you some script. Um, have a look at it. Come in, and we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow." So I went in, like having no idea what to do. Like read the script. My mum, as I said, was a teacher at my school, so she hooked me up with our drama teacher, who was very kind and sort of we went around his house at like 8 p.m. that night, and he kind of gave me some stuff to do rather than just standing there like a
Yeah.
absolute melon in the room looking like an idiot. Um, and yeah, I went down and I did it. It was the scene where Percy takes the first years from the Percy scene, basically the bit where he takes the first years up to
Hmm.
the Gryffindor common room for the first time. So, all the keep an eye on the staircases and Caput Draconis and all that stuff. And I did that up and down a room, probably about the size of the room I'm in here, my office at home,
Okay.
which is like 3 meters by 4 meters. It's not big. I just paced up and down in front of a tiny little camcorder and Janet Hushenson, who was the casting director. I did that like 2 or 3 times, maybe. And like literally at the end of it, she said, "That's great. I'd like you to come to Leavesden Studios next week and meet Chris Columbus and David Heyman and the other guys from Chris Columbus's 1492, which is Chris's production company, who sort of co-produced it with Heyday and with Warner Brothers." So we did that. That was another adventure. Went to a film studios for the first time and met Chris Columbus, who is and was and always will be one of my idols of film directors, because he directed my favorite film of all time, which is Mrs. Doubtfire. And Chris was it is a classic, and it never ages. In fact, it gets better the more and more you watch it. You find just little nuggets of gold in it. But Chris was a delight. It's just this entire ball of energy and happiness and positivity. This little baseball cap and sort of constantly chewing gum and all the time. And we did the scene again, and we did some improvisation around it. And I remember he the second time through that we did it, we got to the bit where the fat lady says password, and Percy goes Caput Draconis, and Chris was reading in like the arts, and he went, "No, the password's changed." And I just remember my little brain going, "I don't know what to do in this situation. We've not done improvisation at school." I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something like, "Well, Dumbledore would have told me if the password had changed," and they seemed to enjoy that, and that was it. Like, it was, I think my entire audition process was 25 minutes over 2 meetings. And then like 2 days later, I got this phone call going, "Congratulations, honey, you've got the part. You start in 2 weeks' time. Find yourself a good lawyer," basically. It was, yeah, it was very sudden and very surreal, I guess is the word.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can just imagine it'd be hard to kind of fathom or even take it in, where it's like, oh, like this is it, just two auditions, 25 minutes. Now I'm
It
having this
just,
role.
yeah.
Yeah,
At no point did it feel like anything serious was happening. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah, I know
you'd
what
go
you
into
mean.
this room, there's this nice American lady who's just like, yeah, just read the lines. It's fine. It's very chilled out. There was no pressure. It didn't feel like this is the role of your life. And of course, being 16 and having never been a professional, like I wasn't a professional actor. I don't think I'd have even called myself that for a while afterwards either. But like, I didn't know that, when they say they're making a movie of the Harry Potter films, nothing really computes in your brain that this is going to be A, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of film, B, something that's going to be released around the world in cinemas and your face is going to be on the side of buildings and all sorts of weird things like that. Like, none of that occurs to you until it's happening. And like, even when we were filming, I think there was a lot of us who were like, oh yeah, this is great fun. We're making a film. There's Alan Rickman. There's Maggie Smith. Lovely. This is weird and terribly exciting. And, we're getting to do all sorts of exciting things. And then suddenly there's the film premiere and there's hundreds of people like screaming and the press and the camera flashes. And then literally it's everywhere in the world and there's no escape from it ever again. Not that you want to escape from it necessarily, but it's,
But yeah, you're tied
it's
to it,
just,
whether you like it or not. The magnitude of it, the
yeah,
entire Harry Potter
yeah,
umbrella, you're under that umbrella now. Whether you like it or not, I'm
it's
sure you love
eternal.
it, but it's eternal. Like
It's
there's no way
eternal.
around it.
Yeah.